Hey guys, it's G from Network. Welcome to another MLB Perfect Inning 2018 video. Today's video, how to get 50 million coins for free by completing the Guess the Stadium community event. How it works, there's 5 stadiums you have to guess. If you get all 5 right, you get 10 million coins per correct answer for a total of 50 million. If you get 4 right, you get 40 million, 3 right, 30 million, etc. I'm going to go through all 5 of the stadiums, tell you what I picked, how I picked it. At the end, I'll explain what else you have to do to truly get your coins. And then you guys should be well on your way to completing this for yourself if you have not already completed it. Before we get things started, when I did this, I got 4 of the answers on my own. The 5th one, I got some help from the line chat to lock in my answer. So a huge shout out goes to them. Thank you to those of you in the line chat who helped. And it was actually on this first stadium where the help came into play. So we're going to go through our 5 options and explain why each one is or isn't the right answer. When I'm looking at this, the first thing I look at, a flat wall across most of right field, and then 2 angular walls that compose of left field, comes to a point just to the right of center field, and then the outfield corners are rounded. Chase Field can't be it. It's flat across center field and angles in left center and right center. The corners might seem rounded, but they're angular corners, so Chase Field not in play. Next up is Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium is famous for having a pretty rounded outfield wall. Not much, if anything, for angles to be seen in terms of the actual outfield wall, so Dodger Stadium can pretty easily be eliminated from contention. Then we have AT&T Park. I can understand the plausibility of AT&T Park, but if you look at the outfield wall, especially in right field, it has a few extra angles to it. It doesn't come to the point in center field quite like in the image, and the corners are not rounded at all. So AT&T Park, also not a viable option. And now here's what I thought it was originally is Coors Field. You have the nice flat wall in right field. Point is just to the right of center field, and then another point in left center. However, that left field angle is too sharp. The corners are not very well rounded. Although in this picture, the right field corner does seem kind of rounded, it really isn't. So while Coors Field looks like it could be it, I don't think Coors Field is upon further review, which leaves us with Angel Stadium. Look at this. The flat wall across right field, the point just to the left of center, the point in left center, but it's also not that sharp of an angle, and the outfield corners are rounded. Foul territory matches. Angel Stadium, that's what I went with for stadium number 1. So for stadium number 1, Angel Stadium. For stadium number 2, let's start off, eliminate Fenway Park. It has the green monster, which would go flat across left field. It would be completely straight. It wouldn't be this angled, jointed wall. Wrigley Field, we can eliminate 2. If we look at Wrigley Field, the outfield corners, it juts out, and then it curves in, and then it's a curled outfield wall. That does not match. Yankee Stadium, the wall is rounded pretty much all the way around. The corners are rounded too. That's not an option for this stadium. As we revisit stadium number 2, at this point we'll start to pay attention to things. It's angled in the outfield corners, and then several wall segments that are almost smooth but not quite smooth, straight across center field, relatively symmetric. We're down to Safeco Field and Busch Stadium as possible options. Safeco Field comes to a point in dead center field. It's not flat across dead center field. The right field corner doesn't match. Left field corner kind of matches. But if we look at Busch Stadium, here we have a match. Both outfield corners are angled. A few sections of flat wall that almost look rounded, and flat across center field. For stadium number 2, Busch Stadium is what I'm going with. So there we go. Busch Stadium locked in for stadium number 2. For stadium number 3, the outfield wall very rounded. PNC Park. If you're not familiar, you can see it. Left field corner, it's angled. That already throws it out. The right field wall, it's tall, it's flat, not rounded. Beautiful ballpark, but not what we're looking at. If we look at Tropicana Field, angled in the outfield corners, if we zoom in on center field, you can see there's a point in left center where it angles out, and then goes flat slightly, so we're not looking at Tropicana Field. Petco Park, another beautiful ballpark, but a very quirky outfield wall, not really rounded. If you look at right field, it has that kind of cutout thing. If you go to left field, it has that building. And while that doesn't affect the outfield wall significantly, it's not rounded all the way around, so Petco Park is not in play. And that leaves us with two options. First is the Rogers Center, rounded outfield wall, but it has sharp corners in left and right field. And the other option, the option I went with, is Dodger Stadium, rounded outfield corners. The foul territory goes kind of straight along the wall for a while and then dips down uniquely. You can see it goes flat and then dips down. So while it might not be a perfect recreation, Dodger Stadium is what I'm going with. For stadium number 4, to make this nice and simple, foul territory is massive. Only one baseball stadium has massive foul territory, and that stadium is the Oakland Coliseum. If you look at the dimensions, it has that curl out, drop down. If you imagine a chin that juts down from a face or like a beard or something. The outfield wall has that 5-sided thing, flat across center field, angled in left and right center, and then angled more for straightaway left, straightaway right. As we go back, straight in center, angled in left and right center, more angled in straightaway left and right. Matches up perfectly, Oakland Coliseum. And finally, stadium number 5. We looked at this one earlier. There's only one stadium in Major League Baseball that has the deeper corners and then gets shallower in the power alleys before going deeper again in center field, and that is Wrigley Field. You know, I've been there. I've got to see a couple games before. It's a great old ballpark, a ton of fun to go to. If you haven't been there before, I definitely recommend it. That being said, the outfield corners is really interesting. The wall goes flat, and then it curls in, and then it kind of curves around, and then it curls back out. Here we have another picture of Wrigley Field, and you can see in left field where it goes flat, and then it cuts in, and then the power alley, it curls around. Then right field's kind of cut off in this picture, but it is the same in right field as it is in left field. So for stadium number 5, I lock in with Wrigley Field. Just to review, stadium number 1, 3 flat surfaces, rounded corners in the outfield, Angel Stadium. Stadium number 2, Busch Stadium, definitely not Fenway with the green monster, definitely not Wrigley, based on how the outfield corners cut out. Definitely not Yankee Stadium, whose walls are rounded, and not Safeco Field, because Safeco Field comes to a point in center field. Busch Stadium is flat across in center field. That's the main difference. Stadium number 3, which is rounded all the way around the outfield, Dodger Stadium. PNC Park is flat across right field. Tropicana Field has a point out in center field. Petco Park has a cut in the right field corner. And Rogers Center has sharp corners with the rounded wall versus rounded corners with the rounded wall like Dodger Stadium has. Stadium number 4, the Oakland Coliseum, with the huge foul territory and the 5 flat walls. And stadium number 5, with the outfield corners cutting outward, is uniquely Wrigley Field. Once you have put these answers in, they ask for your MLB Perfect Inning 2018 CS code. If you go to your settings, it displays it right in the middle. There's a red box here around where the CS code is. Mine was 8 digits when I submitted it. I'm not going to tell you my CS code, but you have your own CS code. You can put your CS code in, submit the form, and then they will give out rewards based on that. Exact rules of this contest are that you can only submit the form once, and you must submit it, here we go, 1900 hours Pacific. That's 7 p.m. Pacific. So basically by the time Wednesday night maintenance starts, you need to have this submitted. But there's no rules against helping each other get these answers or anything like that. I hope you guys found this information helpful, useful, informative, stuff like that. If you did, leave a like. If you're new around here, subscribe for more MLB Perfect Inning 2018 content in the comments. Let me know if you disagreed with any of the answers, if you have any questions. Like I said, I showed you guys. I looked up the dimensions of these stadiums, looked up the outfield walls, did research, figured out which stadiums are the actual stadiums. So if I get anything wrong, I blame Gameville. If you guys get anything wrong, you can blame me, you can blame Gameville. I'm fine with that. Well, that's all for this video, guys. MG from Skull Gaming Network. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, as always, peace out.